Hello everyone, this is the Void. I'm gonna be making a video about Infestor play, and well, let's start. You'll see I'll start immediately with killing off my rocks, moving in my units, going to the middle with two marines to get the guardian shield up. This is basically to prevent noobs from just camping in mid early game and feeding off other people who just run into them. It's well, it's not really necessary or anything, but I think it really helps, you know. And by the time you kill all your rocks and grab your tower, usually then the guardian shield will be up again. I mean, if you look here, the thing has 50 energy, so you need to wait a bit, and then you can just roll on out again. Here you see a large mass, and I can tell they're bad just because they share control, and you don't usually do that. You know, I mean, they both also have the same clan tag, so that tells me that these guys are going to be a great food source. This Strategio guy comes in nice from behind, you know, and flanks them with his lings. And here I totally didn't pay attention to the minimap here, I just saw them, so I thought I needed to use a savior. In the end it worked out quite nicely for me, as you can see all those nice blue numbers. Well, that's basically your number. I already have my Infestor on the way because I could well afford that with my for my savior back then. I could have already stacked an upgrade here for heroic weapons, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much because it's gonna be complete anyway after the Infestor is done. Well, here comes the Infestor. I'm really a hotkey player. I like to keep my army on hotkey 1 and just 1A my way to victory, you know, just 1A everywhere. And keep my heroes on 2, 3, and Observer usually on 4. Here I cast my first fungal on the marines because they give most bounty, and I can't one-shot the lings anyway yet. Here I'm kind of not paying attention. I'm really bad at looking at the minimap actually. Here I'm moving my Infestor under Pink's army so I can just run away if I need to, you know, because via middle is not really a good option. Here see I have a really good concave. I also activate the guardian shield. And this is how we roll. It's great food. And you'll see that I keep upgrading my heroic damage on my command center, because upgrading damage gives more damage on not only like weapons of heroes, but also like fungal growth, and Psystorm also deals more damage. Also Snipe and EMP with the Ghost also deal more damage, so I keep upgrading heroic damage, and this way also my army gets to benefit a tiny bit. I could also just, you know, upgrade I could also just only buy Infestor upgrades, but then my army wouldn't really benefit from it, so it doesn't really matter that much. Here you see another 2 upgrades. Here I would have really loved to fungal that, but my Infestor didn't have any energy unfortunately, because as you just saw I moved my Infestor in their base a bit to fungal them. I knew I could do that because they weren't that good anyway. So yeah, here my allies are a good concave. I could just scan in the base and move in a bit, and scan in the base for the savior, but it doesn't really matter that much. Here I get a good concave, but I see his very large mass and this hellbat, so I decided to move back. Even though I would give him the guardian shield, I'll just move back to base. Wanted to savior that, or I wanted to fungal that, but I couldn't unfortunately. You gotta be really careful with hellbats. You can't just engages them early on because they're really strong. Here he loses them fortunately because it was red's hellbat and not black, and red already left. So here, if I can pause the game a bit when I have my Infestor unbarrel, I can show you the upgrades. But in general you want to just focus on getting the duration for the fungal growth, because that way like fungal deals damage per second, and like the more seconds you fungal, the more damage you do. It's kind of logical. But yeah, but what this also does is it stuns heroic units like the Colossus or the Hellbats. It stuns them for a longer period of time, so you can easily just pick them off and snipe them. You'll see that 10 minutes have passed quite some time ago actually, and I didn't decide to promote a Phantom. That was purely because I wanted to focus on. I wanted just to go pure Infestor. You know, I just got some heroic upgrades, not many, and I basically spent all my 10-minute income on my Fester. Now here I send 2 Marines, and well, that one was just a goner. Usually I just like to send 1 Marine on the top here and 1 here, if I don't have the tower. Because if one is here, you can just you have vision of the entire region of the tower. So if there's enemy units there, you can just kill them off while you're standing on the low ground. But here I didn't do that because he didn't kill his rocks yet, so it couldn't have grabbed that tower. Yeah, so I just only put them on the low ground. Here, nice fungals on the Marines, really juicy Marines. You'll notice that I try to keep away from the Colossus a bit because my units aren't that well upgraded, and they just field Colossus immensely at this point in time. What I tried to do was just for the Colossus I decided to build a Phoenix because Fester costs 2 gas, a Phoenix costs 3 gas, so I could afford a Phoenix.
Okay.
And even though I need to buy an extra gas later on, if I for when I wanted to go Queen, I'd just kill my own Phoenix, you know, so it gives back my 1 gas, the Phoenix cost, and then the Queen will be enough to handle the Colossus because you can just fungal the Colossus and attack them for more energy, fungal them, attack them. And here you see it's kind of like dicey. I see this purple Colossus moving to the high ground,
Okay.
so it's kind of separated from the army. It would be really difficult for him to kill my Phoenix there. And then the other Colossus was just weak, so I could easily pick it off. Now here you see, unfortunately I haven't been able to click my Infestor at all when it's unburrowed. So I can't really show you the upgrades, but in general you just want to get, or at least I'd like to get the duration as fast as possible. And after that I'd like to get the fungal range, and then last I'd like to get the Infestor speed. But you should always just check the arena, you know. Here I move my Fester to the high ground because I wanted to fungal the Spectres, but unfortunately he moved out, so I had to move my Fester back. That was a really dangerous situation for me, because if he scanned, my Infestor would have been dead. Here I'd like to move into the base, but this Ultralisk kind of prevents me, you know. It's just, the Ultralisk could have done massive damage to my army if he'd burrow charge in my army. Here I already have all the upgrades, and at the moment I can afford to morph the Infestor, I can afford the upgrade to promote it to a Queen, but I couldn't afford the gas yet. Now I could do that, so I'm moving my Fester back, just killing off the turrets here. I'm killing off my Phoenix, so I don't need to buy 2 gas. Send a Marine there to see which units are at the tower, then just moving it there. Meanwhile, my Fester back in the base happily is moving to a Queen Fester. Here I see a lot of units, so I decided to engage a bit as well, you know, picking off some stray units. Here I actually should have moved back immediately after they were done fighting, because it's no point in fighting when my Fester is on the way, or when my Queen is on the way, because, well, it's with the Queen my army is just like 10 times stronger, you know, so no need to waste units when you're not at your strongest point. I still did get a lot of resources though, so yeah, that's good. Here I just, you know, fungal everything, fungal. I always, before I attack a base with an ultimate hero, you should always check which tower they have, because they also have a heroic tower, which has the same ability as the Phoenix, which is Graviton Beam. Here I see a missile turret, so I keep scanning his base because I suspect him getting a Phoenix or something, because like a missile turret you only get that if you'd want to lift it up. But I didn't quite realize that it probably was due to the mutalisks that he built that, but hey. Here I can just, you know, kill the thing. Here I recall back, not because of the savior, but because of this army. Here I just fungal everything again. My ally just savior, so there, I don't know if you picked that up, but I also just fungaled the Thor really fast, so he couldn't escape the savior, and then my ally got the Thor as a reward. Here I made a big mistake. Here I did check for the towers and stuff, and I saw one radar tower, so I should be cautious, not that I should take care. There, that was really stupid. I should take care that the radar tower wouldn't be morphed into an anti-hero tower to lift my queen. So I need to keep that in mind. But what you saw there is I got really greedy. You know, there's a timer on the queen, it lasts for 3 minutes, and then after that it morphs back to the infestor. So I moved in here, tried to get some last fungals, and then just before the time ran out I burrowed and I wanted to go back. But unfortunately he saviored, and well, he didn't even need to savior, because he could have just chased down with his army. Oh yeah, his non-existent army, never mind. Well, he could have just chased down with a couple of units and just killed my infestor easily. When the immortals were shooting, you could just see my infestor health drop. But anyway, what I should have done was move my infestor back way earlier, because my infestor was really low health, and that was just really stupid to lose my infestor there. Now I just move back. I don't really have much mass. Don't have an infestor, so I just chrono boost my infestor out. You'll see that I'm not really using my chrono boosts on my Merc compound, just because I use it for scans a lot. Yeah, scanning is really important. Like, you'll see that my command center is always low energy just because I scan so much. I always scan their base. I always scan. I always scan their base. Always scan everything. Oh, I didn't even notice that savior. I always scan everything because, well, knowledge is power, they say, or something like that. You need scans for for heroes, you know. Sometimes the hero notifications doesn't really quite work properly. So here I knew he was coming. I was scanning here because when he used the savior on me, I saw it walk up. So I knew the savior always attacks the closest enemy. And since I was standing here, I knew that an enemy had to be somewhere over here. So I was scanning here. That way I knew there was an enemy there. And at this point in time, I mean, look at the bounty, 2,000, 3,000, 2,000, 3,000, 8,000. You know, I was way ahead. So I was just eating up saviors, you know, trying to kill them off one by one a bit. And I managed that fairly well. Ultralisk's still really dangerous, 4 armor, so gotta take care of that. If the Ultralisk wanted to, he could have killed my army there, but he was too busy defending the command center. To no avail, unfortunately. Also, what you saw there was I was moving my units at killing the command center. I was moving my units. Let me repeat that. I was moving my units in there, so and I wasn't quite attacking on the last part. You can see that I just moved them in, and when I saw the command center was low enough on health, I just attacked with all my ball at once, so I would be sure that I would get the command center kill. It's tiny things like these which could make a big difference in that way. While Stratego didn't get any command center kills. And I was just waiting a bit more. I didn't need to use my Fester there because, well, there was no army there, so no need to risk it then. Here, just scan again. You could see, I could have already seen on the minimap that there were 2 large rings. You can see here, there are 2 rings around them. So I knew he built a tower for his allies, so I knew I had to watch out. I scanned and I checked. It's an anti-hero tower. And this anti-hero tower has a nasty ability called Graviton Beam, which would just lift my queen up. And, well, basically with his marines that weren't really powerful, but he had a lot of missile turrets, and if he wanted to, he could also just use a savior. And he could have easily killed my queen. So I needed to watch out for that. Ideally, I would leech that, but I'm not quite sure how the range works out on that, and I think the Graviton Beam is the same range, or maybe even a bit more than leech. So I didn't quite want to risk leeching the tower, and, well, as you can see, it drains all the energy from the target. So yeah, I could have used that, but I thought it was too risky, so I didn't quite risk it. Here it's just again, here's just again the same old, I can just fungal jungle, you know, fungal everything. If I wanted to, I could just leech the support tower from him, or I could leech energy of the support tower, give it to myself, you know, and, well, then all is nice, and could just keep on fungling, but I didn't really need that. You can also see that as I attack, I get more energy. And my queen here is in a really bad position, and as soon as I got here, I don't know how or why, but as soon as I got here, I thought, to myself like, wait, this is really bad, because if he saviors now, I can't escape to anywhere, you know, so this was really dumb of me to put my queen here. Luckily it didn't really matter in the end, but if you saviored there I would have been in big trouble, especially since my queen was like not really the highest of health. Here he just keeps vortexing for no apparent reason. No units in there as well, so it doesn't really matter. Here I just focus on killing the tower. Now here, you can see, let me rewind that a bit because that was kind of major. Now let's hope it kind of works. Oh, nice. Here you can see that I'm attacking the anti-hero tower because I just want it dead. You know, no anti-hero tower is no threat for my queen. And here you can see he wants to protect it, so he uses a savior. He has a savior queued up after his spawning pool, so that's why it took a bit for the savior to emerge. He probably wanted to use it earlier, but it didn't work out. So now, as you can see, I just fungled the savior, and what this does is basically, as you look at the movement speed, it's basically 0. So this way you can just easily escape with my queen. Also, if I select the savior and select everyone, you'll see that it automatically attacks the closest unit, and when the savior launched it was my queen. So you'll see that it attacks my queen, and it already has the next attacks queued up, but because it's fungled it can't move, and it keeps targeting my queen. I can just run away with my queen, and the savior doesn't even end up killing the army in his base. This is a nice trick, you know, if you can split up your units a bit when you're being saved. It's really hard and it doesn't always quite pay off, but if you can split your units a bit, you can sometimes prevent major damage to your army. And well, here I just keep on killing everything, you know, another savior, another fungal, oh no wait, no fungal. Oh yeah, fungal, but I missed, so this was kind of dangerous. I was a bit panicky there. And then from here my plan was to just leech Red's command center, because usually people don't use their allies' command center when they've left, but it's a really nice source of scanning. Here it's a GG, and well, that's about it. Here just these are the stats, and here I just kill one command center, give him to my ally just because I'm a nice guy. And that's how I played Queen. What you should watch out for is just phoenixes, although one phoenix can't really hurt you because you can just fungal that, and as soon as it fungals you can just as soon as it is fungled you can just leech it. It's no threat anymore. As a Infestor you should watch out for ghosts, because ghosts can kill your Infestor immediately with double EMP, since EMP also deals damage to heroes. And well, for the rest, in the early game you just want to try to focus on Marines, since they give like 3 bounty with and the Marines have a really small mass, so there's a nice income. But later on in the game, when you have more damage on your fungal, you can focus on like advanced Marines like Raynor or Tychus, because they give 6 bounty. Well, they have a really small unit radius, meaning you'll get a lot of money for your fungal. Or even Phantoms, if your damage is high enough, they give 8 bounty per Phantom, so that's really nice. Ideally, in the very late game, you can even go, you should try and fungal the air mercenaries if there are some, because they can be really clumped up. And you might need a couple of fungals to kill them, but it's like always worth it, because you can also, it's really hard for air players to regenerate their mass. Because, as you can see probably, is that you can't see, but well, air mercenaries take like a really long time to build, like 12 seconds or something per air mercenary. I'm not quite sure. Here, 6 seconds. Maybe that's because I'm on really fast speed. Oh well, any case, when you compare it to like 4 seconds. Hey, this is weird, I thought it was way longer. 10 seconds. I don't know anymore. But anyways, they just take a really long time to build in comparison to others. And you really need a large mass before they can actually do anything, so that's why fungaling them is really worth it late game. So if you are playing as a Fester, you need to watch out for ghosts. If you're playing as a Queen, you need to watch out for ghosts, Nova, and Phoenix, because Nova can really make your day bad. As a queen, Ghost doesn't really matter anymore because you can just fungal and leech it, and Snipe won't really kill it, and EMP will just make you drain your energy, and you can just attack some enemy units to get your energy back, so it doesn't really matter that much anymore. But Lash can one-shot your queen, so you should really watch out for that. And if you're facing an Infestor, you first want to get just Ghost and use EMP on it. And 2 EMPs will just kill a queen, no problems, no questions asked. But if there's a queen, queens are really hard to deal with, because they can, if you could go Nova, but the problem is that if they're good enough, they can just fungal and then leech the Nova, and then their Nova is useless for a couple of minutes, or for at least like a couple of, for at least like half a minute or something, and in that time the queen has free reign. So as a queen, I'd recommend getting 2 Phoenix. Not just 1, because 1 is easily fungal and leech, but if you have 2 Phoenix, you can just split them up a bit and lift them, and then make the queen player have a bad day. And early game, usually, as a queen, you don't really have many upgrades on your army, so it's kind of difficult to kill the Phoenixes. But now you can see I have 11 attack upgrades, and fungal deals some massive damage. But yeah, so in any case, if you want to play queen, like Goliaths are a really good choice. So let me know if you have any more questions, and I guess that'll be it. See you later.